Let me ask you something, and don't answer out loud, just feel it. Have you ever been around a man and sensed that something was there? Not just attraction, not just flirting, but that charged silence, the kind where nothing inappropriate has happened, yet everything feels possible. His attention is steady, his presence is calm, and somehow you feel desired without being rushed. That's not an accident, that's intention. Here's what most women don't realize: when a man genuinely wants to sleep with you, the smartest ones don't come on strong. They don't push. They don't make it obvious. In fact, they often do the opposite, because they're deeply aware of one thing. The fastest way to kill attraction is to look desperate or careless. So instead of chasing the moment, they shape it. And this is where it gets dangerous in a good way, because when you don't understand these signals, you might mistake restraint for disinterest or confidence for mixed signals. You might even blame yourself for feeling drawn in, wondering, am I imagining this? You're not. The truth is, a man who wants you physically and still respects how you see him moves with precision. He lets tension build. He watches your reactions. He makes sure you feel in control, even when the chemistry is intense. And once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. So if you've ever wanted to know the difference between a man who just enjoys attention and a man who desires you but refuses to cheapen the moment, stay with me, because the next signs will change how you read men forever. One of the most revealing signs that a man genuinely wants you, yet doesn't want to appear reckless or easy, is how he handles the pace of your interactions. When desire is high, most people assume urgency is natural, the heart races, the chemistry sizzles, and logic takes a back seat. But here's the thing: a man who truly respects attraction and wants to be taken seriously never rushes. He understands something most women miss: tension is his greatest ally. Instead of bulldozing forward, he slows the pace intentionally, letting the anticipation build almost imperceptibly. This isn't indecision, it's strategy, it's confidence wrapped in subtlety, and it's incredibly attractive. Think about your last experience with a man who seemed really into you. Did he ever pause before making a move? Did he let conversation linger, touch remain light, or flirtation stay playful rather than physical? That pause, that controlled restraint, is a sign of a man who's cultivating desire rather than chasing instant gratification. He knows that rushing intimacy can erase mystery, excitement, and even respect. He doesn't want to be seen as impulsive or desperate. Instead, he wants to create moments where anticipation does half the work, where your mind is just as engaged as your heart, and yes, your body too. Slowing the pace also signals emotional intelligence. It shows that he's aware of how his actions affect you in the situation. He's not just following a biological impulse, he's consciously choosing when and how to escalate. That kind of control is inherently sexy, it's rare. Because let's be real, most men think desire means moving fast. But when a man truly wants you and respects how you perceive him, he understands that desire is enhanced when tension builds naturally. And tension isn't created by pressure, it's created by restraint. Here's another subtle clue. He might choose to end dates on a high note rather than prolonging them unnecessarily. He may linger with eye contact as he says goodbye, letting the moment breathe. He may subtly flirt, but then step back, leaving you wanting more rather than overwhelmed. Even in conversation, he might tease just enough to create curiosity, then shift the topic, leaving your mind replaying the interaction long after it ends. That's not casual behavior, that's deliberate pacing, and it's an unmistakable sign of genuine desire mixed with respect. And here's why this matters for you. When a man slows the pace, he's giving you the opportunity to lean in emotionally, mentally, and yes, physically on your terms. He's ensuring that when the moment finally does escalate, it feels natural, mutual, and exciting rather than rushed or one-sided. Women often mistake restraint for disinterest, but in reality, it's the hallmark of a man who's playing the long game, and the long game is far more satisfying than a rush connection. So next time you notice a man intentionally slowing down, holding back, or letting tension build instead of pushing forward, pay attention. This isn't him being unsure, it's him showing mastery over his own desire. He's creating a space where anticipation becomes intoxicating, where your interest deepens with every carefully measured interaction. That slow burn, that's his way of showing that he wants you deeply, but respects the moment, and most importantly, respects you. Because here's the truth every woman needs to know: desire is not about speed. Desire is about control, awareness, and intention. And a man who slows the pace, even when the chemistry is undeniable, is a man who wants you, but wants you in the most powerful, irresistible way possible. Here's something most women completely overlook: the men who truly desire you don't just focus on the physical connection, they focus on creating emotional safety first. It might sound subtle, even invisible at first, but it's one of the strongest indicators that a man's intentions are serious. Because when a man wants you, he understands that attraction isn't just about lust or heat, it's about comfort, trust, and the freedom for you to feel seen. And when he creates that safety, it doesn't just make him more attractive, it makes every moment with him feel electrifying in a way you can't ignore. Think back to the last time a man made you feel completely at ease. Did he listen to your stories without interrupting? Did he remember small details like your favorite drink or a joke you mentioned days ago? Did he check in emotionally, not just physically? That's not coincidence, that's deliberate. Men who want a meaningful physical connection and want to avoid looking careless or easy know that if you feel safe around them, you'll let your guard down, your energy opens up, and the chemistry deepens naturally. Emotional safety doesn't mean he's being boring or distant. It means he's strategically building an environment where desire can thrive without pressure. Here's the secret most women miss: emotional safety is what makes tension irresistible. When a man moves too fast physically without giving you a sense of comfort, it triggers hesitation, doubt, or even anxiety. But a man who prioritizes emotional safety knows the exact opposite happens. You feel curious, intrigued, and willing to lean in. He will tease, flirt, and create subtle sexual tension, but in a way that always leaves you in control of your choices. You feel free to respond because your intuition isn't screaming risk, it's whispering possibility. Notice the small gestures, too. The ones that seem almost accidental but aren't: remembering your favorite coffee, sending a text just to check in, laughing with you at your quirks rather than judging them. These are not friend-like behaviors, they're signs that he's creating a space where your mind and heart are engaged before your body. He's showing that desire doesn't need to be reckless. It can be intentional. And when a man is intentional this way, it makes every flirt, every touch, every glance far more charged, far more intoxicating, because it's layered with trust. And here's the truth: emotional safety also makes you want the physical side of things more. When you feel seen, respected, and understood, every playful tease, every lingered look, every carefully measured gesture is amplified. Your anticipation builds naturally, and when chemistry finally escalates, it doesn't feel rushed or desperate. It feels electric, inevitable, and mutual. That's why the men who truly understand attraction don't just chase bodies, they chase connection first. So the next time a man goes out of his way to make you feel comfortable, listens with genuine interest, and ensures you feel in control of the interaction, recognize it. He's not being boring or slow. He's signaling that he wants you and wants the experience to be unforgettable, respected, and mutual. Emotional safety isn't just a nice bonus. It's a tool that separates men who are truly desirable from men who are simply impulsive. Because when desire is paired with trust, anticipation, and comfort, what follows is not just attraction, it's a connection that feels irresistible. And that, my dear, is the kind of man who wants you, wants the chemistry, but respects you enough to make every moment count. Here's something most women completely miss: the men who truly want you don't just rely on looks, chemistry, or touch. They use words as their secret weapon. And when I say words, I don't mean empty flattery or cliché lines. I mean language that is deliberate, meaningful, and designed to make you feel both wanted and respected. A man who wants you physically but doesn't want to appear careless or pushy knows exactly how to speak to you so that attraction builds naturally without you ever feeling pressured. Words, when used intentionally, are like signals in the night, subtle, layered, and deeply enticing. Think back to your last interaction with a man who captivated you. Did he compliment you in ways that felt specific and personal rather than generic? Did he tease you playfully, just enough to make you smile, but never cross a line that would make you uncomfortable? Did he listen to your thoughts and then respond thoughtfully, almost like he's studying the way your mind works? That's not coincidence. That's a man being strategic with language because he understands that desire isn't just physical. Desire is mental, emotional, and intellectual as much as it is sensual. Here's the key: intentional words create anticipation. When a man flirts in measured doses, he keeps you guessing, intrigued, and thinking about him long after the conversation ends. He knows that if he overshares, overcompliments, or rushes with sexual undertones, he risks killing the tension that makes attraction addictive. So instead, he chooses his words carefully, almost like he's conducting a symphony of attention. Every playful remark, every lingering compliment, every subtle tease is calculated to deepen curiosity while keeping respect intact. And let's talk about tone, because it's just as important as the words themselves. He'll drop his voice slightly when he's teasing or emphasizing desire, creating a subtle intimacy that feels private even in a crowded room. He'll mix humor with depth, playfulness with sincerity, and curiosity with attention. The result: you feel drawn to him in a way that goes beyond physical attraction. Your mind is engaged, your emotions are triggered, your curiosity about him grows. And when a man does this, it's almost impossible to resist the chemistry that's building underneath the surface. Another layer: intentional words also show self-awareness. A man who can articulate his interest without rushing demonstrates confidence, emotional intelligence, and control. He's not desperate. He's not impulsive. He's deliberate. And that kind of energy is magnetic, because women naturally respond to men who can balance desire with dignity. He's making it clear that he wants you, but he wants you to choose him too, creating a shared mutual tension that feels irresistible. So pay attention when he talks. It's not just chatter. It's a dance of language, a way of letting you know he desires you without crossing boundaries. When words are intentional, every conversation becomes charged. Every joke becomes flirtatious. Every compliment becomes a spark that keeps you thinking about him long after you've parted ways. And that, my dear, is the kind of man who understands attraction on a deeper level. He's not rushing, he's building a connection that's mental, emotional, and undeniably seductive, so when chemistry finally escalates, it feels inevitable, natural, and thrilling. Because here's the truth: every woman should know words are powerful. And when a man uses them intentionally, with focus, playfulness, and restraint, he's telling you exactly what you need to know. He wants you, he respects you, and he knows that true desire isn't loud, it's measured, controlled, and unforgettable. Here's a subtle truth that most women never notice: when a man truly wants you, he rarely just dives in blindly. He doesn't assume you'll respond to his desire, and he certainly doesn't push past your comfort. Instead, he tests the energy carefully, almost invisibly, to gauge whether the attraction is mutual, and he does it without ever making you feel pressured or cornered. This is where intelligence meets desire, and it's one of the sexiest things a man can do, because desire that respects boundaries feels exciting, effortless, and utterly magnetic. Think about it: how does a man test mutual attraction without being obvious? The signs are subtle but consistent: lingering eye contact, a pause before touching your hand, leaning in, or brushing your arm, playful teasing that flirts but doesn't force intimacy. He watches your responses closely, reading micro-expressions, body language, and verbal cues, adjusting his energy accordingly. This is a man who understands that the most compelling tension is reciprocal. He can't create desire alone. It needs to be mirrored, and he makes sure it is. Here's the clever part: by testing the boundaries without crossing them, he's also protecting his own image. Men who are impulsive or desperate often go too far, too fast, and risk appearing careless or even needy. But a man who wants you, yet wants to be respected, knows that anticipation is more powerful than immediate gratification. He's essentially creating a dance of mutual desire, a back and forth that leaves both of you craving the next step. You might feel the chemistry in flashes teasingly without it ever feeling unsafe or uncomfortable. That controlled testing is the difference between a fleeting hookup and a connection that's deeply magnetic. Another key sign is timing. He chooses the right moments to test desire. A joke becomes flirtation, a compliment becomes subtle seduction, a shared glance becomes tension, all delivered in ways that feel natural, not staged. He's aware of the context, your mood, and your reactions, and he adapts fluidly. That awareness signals intelligence, self-control, and emotional maturity, all traits that make him irresistibly attractive. And here's the truth for you, this testing phase is designed to make you feel like the choice is yours. He doesn't force anything. He doesn't push the moment. He lets you respond, engage, or reciprocate on your own terms. This creates a sense of agency that women naturally gravitate toward because it's empowering and respectful. You feel desired without being manipulated, curious without being cornered. That's why the tension becomes electric. The anticipation feels mutual, not one-sided. So next time you notice subtle testing, eye contact that lingers, playful touches that hover, teasing remarks that invite a reaction, don't dismiss it. This is a man who wants you, but he wants it the right way. He's making sure the chemistry is mutual, the attraction is earned, and every step toward intimacy feels natural, shared, and thrilling. Desire that respects boundaries is far more powerful than desire that doesn't. It lingers in your mind. It pulls you back in. It makes you think about him long after the moment has passed. Because here's the ultimate truth. When a man tests mutual desire without crossing boundaries, he's signaling three things at once. He wants you, he respects you, and he knows how to make attraction irresistible. And that, my dear, is a kind of chemistry that doesn't just sizzle, it lasts. Here's something incredibly powerful, and most women completely underestimate it. The men who truly want you don't force you into a decision, they invite you to make one. They understand that desire is magnetic, but respect is unforgettable. The difference between a man who comes on too strong and one who is truly irresistible lies in the way he frames the dynamic. He wants you, yes, but he wants you to feel like it's your choice too. And this subtle shift in power is one of the sexiest, most intoxicating things a woman can experience. Think about the last time you were around a man who seemed completely in control but not controlling. Did he let you lead certain moments? Did he wait for your signals before escalating flirtation or intimacy? Did he create situations where you could lean in emotionally or physically without feeling pressured? That's not coincidence. That's a man giving you agency because he knows that when you feel like you're choosing, your investment is higher, your desire is stronger, and the chemistry becomes almost irresistible. Men who rush or push often make women feel like they're being pursued for the sake of conquest, which triggers resistance rather than attraction. But a man who's truly skilled and truly wants you uses patience and subtle cues to let you feel in control. He creates opportunities for you to respond rather than forcing the interaction forward. That could be as simple as pausing before touching your hand, leaning in just enough during conversation, or asking questions that invite your opinions and choices. Every one of these moments is a test, yes, but it's also a gift, the gift of agency, of control, and of choice. And here's the magic behind it. When you feel like you're choosing him, the chemistry becomes a dance rather than a push and pull. You're not resisting because you feel pressured. Instead, you're drawn in because it feels mutual, exciting, and safe. That sense of empowerment creates anticipation that no forceful action could ever achieve. You begin to associate desire not with discomfort or rush, but with pleasure, curiosity, and emotional satisfaction. He knows that attraction grows fastest when you feel like a participant rather than a spectator. Notice, too, how this plays out in everyday interactions. A man who understands this will give you subtle hints of interest, playful compliments, lingering glances, teasing remarks, but he won't overwhelm you. He will create opportunities for connection and flirtation, then step back just enough for you to engage on your own terms. That restraint builds tension naturally. It makes every choice you make feel meaningful and every reaction you have feel like it matters. And the result, chemistry that's electric, mutual, and addictive. So the next time a man seems to give you space, even when the attraction is obvious, pay attention. He's not disinterested. He's showing respect for your agency while signaling his desire. He wants you, but he wants you to feel empowered in the moment, not manipulated. That combination of desire and respect is rare, and it's what separates a man who's simply interested from one who is unforgettable. Because here's the ultimate truth every woman needs to know: when a man lets you feel like you're choosing him, he's doing something extraordinary. He's making the experience mutual, exciting, and emotionally satisfying. He's letting anticipation and chemistry build naturally. And most importantly, he's showing that he desires you not recklessly, but intentionally. Desire paired with respect, patience, and subtle guidance, that is the kind of attraction that feels irresistible, unforgettable, and deeply empowering. Alright, let's bring it all together. If you've been paying attention, you now know the subtle ways a man shows desire without ever making you feel pressured or easy. He slows the pace, letting anticipation build naturally. He creates emotional safety, making you feel seen, valued, and comfortable. He uses words intentionally, teasing, complimenting, and flirting in ways that pull you in without rushing. He tests mutual desire subtly, reading your reactions and keeping the chemistry electric. And finally, he lets you feel like you're choosing, not being chosen, giving you control while keeping the tension alive. These 5 signs aren't just little tricks, they're evidence of a man who understands attraction on a deeper level. He's aware of his own desire, aware of your responses, and above all, he respects the experience. That combination of confidence, control, and genuine interest is what makes him irresistible. And here's the thing, once you learn to recognize these patterns, you stop guessing, you stop overanalyzing, and you start seeing the difference between a man who's casually interested and a man who really wants you. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed one of these signs in a man before, but didn't realize what it meant at the time? Or maybe you've experienced the slow build tension, the playful testing, or the way he lets you feel in control, and it drove you absolutely crazy with anticipation. Drop a comment below and share your story. I read every single one, and I promise your experience can help other women see these signs too. And remember, desire isn't about rushing, it's about intention. Watch for these cues, trust your intuition, and notice how attraction evolves when a man wants you the right way. If you stay tuned, you'll start recognizing the difference, and that awareness, it changes everything.